welcome back. We want to thank you for joining us again. We appreciate your time as always. For our loyal subscribers, we always give you a thumbs up for staying with us as we build this platform. If you are joining us for the first time, we appreciate your time. We encourage you to subscribe to our channel and also share our videos to your networks. If you like this content, please share and like at the end of it. Today we're going to focus on a very important thing. These are challenging times. These are critical times in making informed decisions. For those who are just joining us for the first time, here at Online Learning or Campus Education, this particular program, we focus on educative part, supportive recommendation, trainings, and providing you suggestions on how to advance your skills, your careers, and select the best possible doctoral programs, MBAs, masters, diploma programs, and search for scholarships wherever that may be. So we want to encourage you to stay put. Now, we just want to point out that this is some kind of consultancy really quick at this particular time. For this video is to provide some guidance to some of our subscribers out there, and for those who are new and planning to travel to study abroad. So we just want to lay out some 6 guidelines that you should be aware of while making that decision. The question came from one of our viewers who is planning, who's been watching us for some time now, was planning to travel to study in Europe. So we want to give this advice. This advice covers Europe, Asia, Africa, wherever that may be. But some of the points we're going to lay down here will be focusing more in the United States and in Europe. So for those our viewers from Africa, from Asia, please pay attention as well. And for those who are in Europe or from any other parts of the world who are intending to move to the US or to Europe to study, please pay particular attention. Now, let's look at this. These are challenging times. The coronavirus situation has affected a lot of universities at this particular time, and the internal mechanism in Europe become even more complicated at this time. So you as a student should be aware of this. So it's our duty to provide you with these supportive guidelines and also to make sure that, again, you make an informed decision. Now we're going to focus on, first we talk about what are the difficulties that you may face as an international student who is planning to travel to study abroad. We're going to look about first, number 1, Europe. Number 2, we're going to talk about the visa issues. Number 3, we'll talk about the borders in Europe. Number 4, we're going to cover the jobs in Europe as well. And we will also cover the cost of your study at this particular time. And we will provide you whatever decision you may make around scholarships. And finally, we're going to talk about recommendations, our own recommendations to you. Now, we mostly focus on the strategic way of people making decisions to study abroad, to simplify things for them. But at this particular time, I would advise you that it may not be a good time to make a decision, whatever that decision may be, to travel to study on a regular campus. Number 1, I want to point out, it's not possible to travel to Europe nowadays. It's just not acceptable. Why I say so? Most European countries have closed their borders for international travelers. That doesn't mean that people within who hold residence permits or EU citizens cannot travel between their own between the member countries. That is possible. They do that. That's okay. But for students coming from abroad, from Asia, from Africa, from Latin America, to study abroad, to study here in Europe or in the United States, that's not possible because it's a big challenge. It's not even acceptable. And recently, some European Union countries extended their ban to receive international travelers coming from abroad, with exceptions for medical staff or embassies staff, diplomats, so to say, or kind of emergency situation. So you have to really prove that. So I mean, you will not be presenting emergency documentation to travel and study. So you know that this is something very important. You shouldn't be considering this traveling at this particular time, or even starting an application. The second thing is the visa. Most universities, most embassies now, European embassies located in different parts of the world, do not accept applications at this particular time. They do not accept visa applications, and that's a big challenge. You should be aware of that. So there is just no need for you to start compiling your documents. Your documentation is of no use at this particular time. So we encourage you to do some research. That's why we are bringing this information to you. Another thing you should be informed is that the borders of Europe are closed. I mentioned in the first point, are completely closed for international students at this time. So for whatever reasons, I don't know, but we all know that this is challenging times about coronavirus, and they are focusing on making sure that they can reduce the amount of infections that are out there. The healthcare system is stretched, so they want to make sure that they can battle with the ones that they do have at the moment, to make sure they can reduce the challenges to the health personnel that they have. So it's completely closed, and there is no need for you to start making an application at this time. Another thing you should also be aware as an international student, some students they have an opportunity when they travel to study abroad. They have a chance, they can work, and they have part-time jobs that they can follow for 2 hours a day, so to say. It all depends which country you're going to, but this is not going to be possible anymore because there are millions of jobs now that have been lost in Europe. So as an international student, life may become even more difficult for you. Remember that there are millions of students in the European Union alone who were affected as a result of this coronavirus, and they have not completed their programs. So they may have to go for some extension, visa issue, residence permit. These are some challenges you're going to face. You have to present your residence permit, you have to follow the procedure. So it's not really sure. Most offices are closed still in Europe. They are just starting to reopen some offices now. Things are not coming back to normal anytime soon. So we advise you to reschedule your plans. That may be for future dates, maybe 2021, maybe a better start date for you if you're planning to travel to study abroad in Europe, United States, wherever that may be. So these are difficult times, so please take this advice. Another thing you should be aware of here is that it is extremely expensive for you to even consider making an application now. Let's say you have ambitions at this particular time to travel to Europe, except I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what your family composition is. You may have enough money to do that. Of course, you want to do it, but most universities are closed. This is the thing. So they are reopening gradually, and you may want to consider the situation before you can make such a journey or a trip like that. So the odds are not on your side. So as an international student, you could be a professional, you could be someone who's going for a 1-year program, 6 months training, whatever that may be. These are challenging times. We encourage you to plan on doing that next year. Another thing you should be aware we want to advise is if your program, whatever the program may be, in terms of scholarship, that you secure a 100% scholarship, that's when we can encourage you to make such a trip or to make such a journey. It's of importance. And then you know that your situation is exceptional. You're going to be having your fees paid. You're going to some percentages. You may also have your housing covered, your insurance covered, your feeding to a certain extent covered. So it all depends. So these are rare cases we are talking about. It's not like it's a standard situation. It may be a rare situation. So if you have a 100% scholarship option, then we will encourage you that you can make that decision. Otherwise, you are making the wrong decision at this time. Another thing also that we want to point out is that the general situation now in Europe is very tense, and you don't want to get into this particular situation. Some universities, some countries are hardest hit than others. It all depends on which country you want to go to, but I assure you that the whole mechanism in Europe has been affected, and in such a way that it will take some time, maybe 6 months to about a year, for things to come back to normal. So we advise you to review your options. Now, this is our recommendation in this situation. If I were you, I should be considering at this particular time that there are thousands of online programs out there for reputable universities, and they have good discounts that are available. I'm not speaking for any institution. All the advice I'm giving here is for free. I'm just making sure that I speak to our subscribers out there in the general public. If I were you, I should be considering studying online at this particular time. Just imagine that you start studying, let's say in August this year online. Before things settle down by next August, you may have been getting ready for your graduation or be done for the program. So this is something that you may want to consider. That is our recommendation now. Online study is the best option. We will not advise you to plan on traveling to study in Europe. It's very expensive now. The program that may cost you $5,000 or $10,000 may tend to cost you $25,000. We did a video like that. Hopefully you can check on one of our previous videos. So this is general advice to the public. Hopefully our subscribers can share this to their family members and friends who are making plans to travel to Europe this 2020. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be possible. So make sure that you avoid those challenges like the visa issues, going to the embassy, the cost, except your program is 100% scholarships and you don't have any part-time jobs here in Europe anymore. The economy is down, unemployment is high at the moment, things are really going down, but universities are investing more in online studies. That's our own recommendation. So we want you to take that to a certain level. So we want to hopefully that you can put this recommendation into your decision-making process and come out strong. Again, things will bounce back soon, of course. I mean, the governments in different EU countries are injecting money into the system to boost the economy again. Hopefully within 6 to 1 year time, things will come back to normal. Again, we want to thank you for joining us. If this information was good for you, if this content was helpful, we encourage you to give us a thumbs up, and thanks for watching. We're looking forward to meeting you soon while we continue our episode. Have a good day, and bye for now.